Oftentimes, probably more often is the case than not, that people who are like this, who prey upon children, that this is a matter of a demand for them. It is an addiction for them. It is an addiction for them. As a man was about to be punished by Umar radiallahu anhu wa ardahu, as is well known and mentioned throughout the books of fiqh and qada and so on and so forth, that talk about these issues. A man was about to be punished by Umar. He was exposed for his sin, and the head was about to be exacted against him. And he said, am I going to be punished or put to death for one crime that I committed, for doing something just once? He said, kadhabt. He said, you are a liar. Allah would not have exposed you just the first time. Allah would not have exposed you just the first time. So it is normally a pattern of behavior. So not to get ahead of ourselves, but something that must be said is that if you know of suspicions about a person that are built upon something other than conjecture, accusations that have been made against a person, then that needs to be brought to the attention of the leadership of the masjid, of the imams of the masajid, and of the administrations of the masajid, so they can keep their eyes on those people. Something interrelated is that if you know that somebody has a substance abuse problem. Earlier today I was on the website for the Ministry of Justice in Saudi Arabia looking over the court cases and how these cases are dealt with in the court system over there, and reviewing some information. And in almost every single case, if not every single case, where the details were laid out of somebody who committed an act of sexual perversion against a child or against a relative or something of the sort, that was the equivalent of a crime that they were in prison for and lashed for and that sort of thing, then almost in every situation there was this matter of drug addiction or substance abuse. As comes in the statement of Uthman that he said, Al-Khamru Mada, what did he call Khamr? Ummul Khaba'ith. Khamr is the Ummul Khaba'ith. It is the mother of all filth. A man on account of drinking Khamr, yaqa'u ala ummihi wa ibnatihi, may have intimate relations with his own mother, his auntie, or his daughter, or his sister. Allah's refuge is sought. A person who has a substance abuse problem, people who have substance abuse problems, oftentimes keep the company of each other and conceal the secrets of each other. Oftentimes, they are dealing with chronic pain, and their substance abuse is something that they are struggling with because they are dealing with chronic pain, and so they become addicted to painkillers, which escalate to fentanyl or heroin or something of the sort. And in such a condition where a person is intoxicated, inebriated, a person is beyond their self, and their judgment is even more impaired, the shaitan, and not to scapegoat the shaitan can get the best of them. And the shaitan can lead them to things that in their normal frame of mind that they will not have fallen into. And so it should be brought to the attention, not to expose a person, min bab and nasiha, so that they can get the proper help, because they are marudah, because they are sick people. We once asked one of our scholars about people in our communities that we know, because they were in the penal system with brothers that we are very familiar with. They were incarcerated with people that we are familiar with. And we know people are locked up. People know what their charges were. People know who was in jail for messing with children, who was in jail for being with a minor or an underage person or something of the sort. And so that will be divulged to the imam of the masjid and the administrations of the masjid or the masajid. And we ask the scholars, and when we know this about people, how do we deal with those people? For two advices that stand out. One advice was not to give them any responsibility in the masjid at all. Don't even let them clean the toilets, they said. Don't even let them clean the toilets. Give them no responsibility in the masjid. However, this goes to the second advice. Do not ban them from the masjid. Do not ban them from the masjid because they are sick people. And the masjid is a mustashfa. But this goes back to the discretion of the leadership of the masjid. Meaning somebody in the past, in the far past, not a new situation that has just happened, and he where the presence of a person, and he is mu'udhi by in and of itself, it's a nuisance and it's a menace in and of itself that a person be in the masjid while this is known about them. Well, they have admitted to such things, but somebody in the far past, because the masjid is a mustashfa. The masjid is a hospital. The masjid is a hospital where people come to get better.